Hello and welcome, everybody. This is Chris from T3 Handicapping, and I'm excited to be back with you here. Today, we're going to be going over the card for Oaklawn Park on Friday, December 10th, 2021. Thank you for joining us today and for your continued support of T3 Handicapping. Let's go ahead and jump into Oaklawn Friday. All right. So, for those of you that are new to the channel, as always, you can find all of our stuff online at t3handicapping.weebly.com. That's where you can purchase access to our portal, as well as check a lot of our stats and past performances, get access to some of these videos as well, all kinds of stuff on there for you. You can also find us right here on YouTube for these live streams. If you like what you're seeing here, give us a like, give us a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe so you get updated of all new content that comes out. We'll be heavily covering Oaklawn here through the winter. And then we will probably pick up with Gulfstream a little bit closer to Pegasus World Cup, and we will always do breakdowns of the big race cards as well. You can also find us on Facebook, T3 Handicapping, and within there, I will often drop little promotions and things like that, so you can get some access to some free picks if you like and follow our page. And then on Twitter at Handicapping T3, you can follow our picks there as well. But again, if you want access to the whole gamut of all of our tracks, t3handicapping.weebly.com is where you want to go. It's just $10, and that gets you access to our portal for 30 days. That's every single track for 30 days, just $10. It's quite a steal, especially when you take a look at our numbers and how we've been doing. You can definitely make that back pretty quickly using our picks. So before we jump into Oaklawn, let's take a quick look at how we have been doing here. You can just see I just took a screenshot of this, but you can get access to this on our website, live updated every single day as to how we're doing. You can see overall, it's been a really, really good run for us. We've looked at over 850 races, 857. We've had 209 horses rank out as our top place. In those races, we've had 451 of the winners have come from the A line. That's 52%, over 52%. You've got the number one selection, which has won 253 races. That's just about 30% of races. So we're essentially hitting at about the same rate as favorites. The only difference is not all of our top selections are favorites. Our ROI is better than that of the post-time favorite. When you look at our top four selections, which is pretty common among a lot of tip sheets that I've seen out there before. I know the Handicapping Guy Guaranteed tip sheet, they use top four picks as well, and so I like to track that so I can compare us against them. And we've hit 642 winners in those top four picks. That's roughly 75%. Now, on Thursday, Fairgrounds, Gulfstream Park, and Oaklawn, we actually were over 85% in that category. So, and then top play winners, the ones that rate out as our top plays, we've actually had 74 of the 209 win. That's about 35%. So we're actually hitting at a much better rate than just our blanket top pick for every single race. So things are going really well there. Our ROI is pretty good. I know you can't see the top play ones, but if you want to see this document, you can get it on our website. When you go to the buy tab, there's something that pops up in the drop down that just says past performances, and you can look at that and you can get access to all of this. You can see how we've been doing across. And what I like about this is we do break it down by track, so you can see our total, and it does include before we were tracking things track by track, which is why the numbers don't necessarily add up here. But you can see like when you're looking for where our top four are best at, well, Mahoning Valley, Gulfstream Park, we're hitting 85%, 84%, 77%. Compare that to the 9 races that were recorded at Finger Lakes, where we only hit about 55% in the top 4. It was not a very good day that day at Finger Lakes. So if you're looking at a specific track for a specific day, you can see how much you really want to trust our picks in that situation. But I think this is really good, really telling for our picks, but also for you as the consumer as well to make educated decisions. So like I said, that's a look into how we've been doing, and for just $10 for 30 days, it's a pretty good deal to get that high of a hit rate. So, with that being said, let's jump into the lightning round. We're going to run through these things real quick here, mostly because it's the lightning round, but also because I streamed this once before and forgot to hit live stream. So, this will be my second time through, and usually things are a little more efficient that go around. So, let's go ahead, let's jump right into it, and let's see what we've got here. So, this combines both my handicapping along with sort of what the grids shot out for itself. So first race, we're going class level 10, 6 furlongs on the dirt. Everything's on the dirt because it's Oaklawn Park. We've got a slow pace here of 12, and I really think this goes through the 3-6. Storm Advisory, Cave Run. You look at the numbers, it's pretty clear these two horses stand above the rest. They look to be pretty tough to beat here. In all honesty, I'm going to use those two, and that's about it. I do think as interesting underneath plays, War Detonator and Rampage are both intriguing. I wouldn't totally eliminate looking for 8 if I'm looking to fill out some, bottoms of exactas and things like that. But I think if you're talking pick ends, I think it's 3 and then 6, and then you can move on from there. It's really that simple. Race number 2. Now, this is one where we're going to go up to a class level 20. So now we've got some lower level horses here. We've got horses where there's going to be a higher rate of variability in performance, and I think that's important to remember as we go through here. I do think Abdan, who is the one to, so basically the 8-5 favorite, is formidable here. That horse is going to be on the front end. It's just that at the class level 20, I don't like to trust that very much. And so I'm just a little skeptical that this horse is as good as the number indicates. That's why I'm going to use the 5 and the 7, who both project to be forwardly placed. And I will use them on the A line as well, just to make sure that I'm not squarely through a horse that I don't. Yes, on paper looks should be good enough, but the class level suggests that this horse is certainly flawed, and I want to make sure I have coverage. I do think if you're going to use another horse, I think you want to go with the 1. I don't totally hate Knievel, the number 6, but I do worry about going 4 deep and using a horse that's 7-2 when I've already got a favorite. I've also got the 5-2 horse on there, so it's like, do I really want to use the top 3 in a horse that I'm in a race that I'm going 5 deep? If I really believe that strongly in the top of the field, then I should probably just go with those 3 and move on. I don't really love the 6 here. I would be interested in Mountain Time, who's 8-1 and is somewhat of an unknown commodity in this group, to spring the upset. 4 seems logical. I wouldn't talk anybody off of singling. I get leery of putting a single in a class level like this where it looks too good to be true. It oftentimes is. Race number 3, we jump back down to class level 10, 6 furlongs on the dirt, moderate pace projected in this one. We are favoring front-running styles, and that's why I like the favorite horse here, Invaluable. Invaluable projects to be on the front, but I think has just a little bit more class, stamina, and speed based on my numbers than Sav, who is the top competitor in this race. Sav does appear to be likely to get on the front and may have a little bit more just late kick. But again, when it comes to being able to carry that speed over distance, I actually like the 5 better. So I'm going to use Invaluable and Sav. That's really where I'm going to go. Girl You're Fine has some things that I think are trending in the right direction. But again, I don't want to go deep if I'm just using the top selections already. Well Spent to me is probably the most interesting outside of the top 2. At 9-2, you're getting the 4th choice. Not super creative, I get that. But at the same time, I think has enough things going in sort of its favor. Could spring the upset. And if you get that one home and you burn the top 2, I think you'll make some good money there. So I would probably, if I were putting this ticket all the way together, probably just go 5-6-4. But honestly, I think 5-6 you can probably get out of there. You'll notice I don't have a lot of creative ideas today. Some days there are just days to move the chains. I feel like this is going to be one of them, but the one thing that I have learned at Oaklawn is you never look at the morning line. You just basically go in and you handicap the race based on who you think wins, and then you let the board speak for itself, because it's very possible that one of these horses is second choice on the morning line and goes off at 12-1. You just never really know at Oaklawn. The morning line is one of the goofiest in the nation. I can never get a handle on it. In this one, I like 3 horses, 1, 4, and 9. This is a moderately paced race for class level 13s. Horse Greedy makes sense. Again, on paper, has some good things going for it. The thing that's confusing for me with Horse Greedy is I just don't know where this one's going to fit from a pace perspective. Typically likes to sit back off the pace, but seems like it's going to be more forwardly placed in this one, just because of the fact that there isn't the early pace that you might expect. So mid-packer, but maybe will be a little bit closer. I do think Storm in Hong Kong at 6-1 is another one that's interesting. I worry a little bit that it wants the same trip that Horse Greedy does, and that it's not going to be as good as Horse Greedy at that trip, and that is always concerning. El Venue just seems to me to be the most logical of the speed players. You know, if you're looking for somebody to get on the front, you've got the 9 horse who likes to sit mid-pack. You've got the 1 horse who likes to sit mid-pack. You've got the 2 horse that likes to sit deep closing, and the 3 horse then is the other front runner. So if we just assume that these 3 horses are going to stick to their preferred running style, then the 4 is going to set a 117 pace number, and the 3 horse, who's the only other horse that wants to go with him, on his best day runs a 104. That's massive. We look for gaps of 5. That's a gap of 13 points. That's huge. This could be a lone speed for El Venue, and that's why I needed to use that one on the A line. I do think Fort Ridge is interesting as well as a closer. I get leery of using closers that don't show up in race flow when it favors front runners, but I do think at 10-1 it's worth a shot. Race number 5, I mean, throw a dart at it. Who cares? This is a tough race. You got class level 19 going 6 furlongs on the dirt. It's literally a 0 projected pace, which means that we have essentially no data. There's 1 horse in this race that's run a race, and that's the number 1. And that's why the number 1 comes out as my top rated horse. It just has the most data points. It's going to be the top ranked horse in every category, essentially, and is tied for first in form. So with that, I'm going to choose experience. These are not good horses. You do not have your future Derby prospects anywhere in here. This is a class level 19. Okay, so I'll take experience. I don't think any of these horses are bred to win first out, frankly. There are some interesting plays. I kind of just went through and I looked at trainer numbers and dam sire stats that kind of intrigued me, and that's how I ended up on 4, 5, 9, 10, 12. But I hate having races like this in the middle of the card. Like, I think this is the ultimate kind of slap in the face to handicappers to put this directly in the middle of a card, because you're now looking at this kicking off some pick sequences, which I don't mind so much, but to have it as the last race in the early pick 5, I think really stinks, because with races like this, you need to see the board, you need to know what's happening to see if there's any smart money coming in to help you to pare things down a little bit. So the first horizontal that I will use this in is as the second leg of a double, where I can see probables. Okay, race number 6. Race number 6 is class level 12, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. This one does project to be a little bit quicker. I like Lil Tootsie and Abrogate. And again, I'm not taking anything creative here. I'm going pretty straightforward. But when you look at these 2 horses, the reason that I selected these 2 is when you look at the speed figures. According to my numbers, Abrogate, if it runs any of its last 5 numbers, Abrogate will win this race. Nobody else has numbers consistently at Abrogate's level. That being said, Lil Tootsie does have a couple numbers that would beat Abrogate. That's the only one that even has a number worthy of winning. The number 6, someone said so, has 1 number a few races back that would make it competitive. Outside of that, nobody. So to me, I'm going to take the big swing with Lil Tootsie. Runs its best performance, beats Abrogate. But I do think that Abrogate makes sense because even on his worst day in the last 5 races, he can still beat this field every time. 3-5. Again, not creative, but sometimes you got to, advance the ball. Race number 7, class level 8, going 8 furlongs on the dirt. I like Leading West here a lot. Leading West is the only one that's run over my pars in terms of speed figures, so I have to use that one. The other one that I think is very interesting is Optimus Cat. If Optimus Cat can bring the turf form over to the dirt, Optimus Cat is a steal at 8-1. Now, the problem is Optimus Cat only has numbers on the turf right now, in recent starts, I should say. So you're asking a lot. but the numbers fit, and at 8-1, it's worth a shot. JVB is another one that's interesting, rates out very well in a lot of categories. Kind of had to use that one. Could get a really nice race flow. Should be able to outlast these ones late, especially coming from that mid-pack. Could be able to wear them down. If the pace does really heat up, which we project it to, then I think this one is intriguing. Now, let's say the pace does not materialize. The forward run style is carrying. Then I think you got to look at horses like Outlier and Tango Charlie to win the race. All right, race number 8, class level 5, 5.5 furlongs. The big question here is, will he or won't he? If you think Nashville's going to go back to the first 3 races of his career, then this one's over. I love Nashville. I fell in love with Nashville on debut. I fell in love with him the next start and the next start after that, and I just decided that this was a horse that could never lose. He came back and broke my heart in his last race. I thought that's okay. He just, needed a freshening, got that start under his belt. He'll be back, and now he's in good form. Well, that turned out to be a total sham. He went back to the bench. Something was not right, and that concerns me. Are we ever going to see precocious Nashville ever again? I mean, if we see that horse from the first 3 races, I'm sorry, Mr. Jägermeister is a Minnesota kid. I love Canterbury. Canterbury horses should not run with Nashville. It's just that simple. So I like Nashville. I'm going to use Firecrow, who's dropping in class and who ran up near a pretty hot pace in the last race, if Nashville can't get the job done. The 4, the 3, and the 2 are interesting as sort of underneath types. Nobody that I need to use as a significant player. I don't really think they possess any threat to win. And if Nashville shows up, nobody possesses a threat to win. This is a really interesting race here. Race number 9. I like 5 horses, the 9, the 5, the 12, the 4, and the 10. The 10 I like on the B line here. I'm going to kind of go in reverse order. The 10 I like on the B line simply because it's an unknown commodity in a field full of losers. This is the only horse that has yet to lose a race. It's a first-time starter. We're talking about class level 13, which is actually not horrible, but these horses have had chances. This is not your 1 and 2 start horses. These are your career maidens or pushing career maidens. I'll take a chance with a first-time starter. I think November Rose is an interesting play on the front end. If you think that one can get the lead, certainly drawn well to try and do so. Salute the Flag just makes sense on so many different metrics. I think it's a reasonable favorite at 2-5, at 5-2 in this spot, and would be one I would use. Up and Coming Star looks like it's going to be towards the front as well, and certainly that can be beneficial against a group like this. The horse I really like, and this horse goes against everything I believe in. The horse is 0 for 14, but that is Kizzy B. Now, the reason that I like Kizzy B is doing a couple of things. First of all, this horse is a speed horse that's cutting back. That I think is going to help in and of itself. But the thing that I really like about this horse is trained by Mike Stidham, was claimed by Mike Stidham, and has one race under its belt with Mike Stidham. Now, the reason that I like that so much is that when you go back, yes, this horse is 0 for 14, but Michael Stidham had this horse for a little bit, and then got it claimed. So he was running this horse at the fairgrounds. It got claimed by Paul Holtis. Stidham grabbed him back. Stidham wanted another shot with this horse and got this horse into the best form of its life. It was third by 2 lengths, second by 1 length, and third by 1 3/4. Really competitive, running the best figures, gets claimed off of him, and in the very next race for Greg Foley pops the best number. I always believe that the first number that's kind of run a lot of times can be due to the previous barn, especially when it's on a quick turnaround. That one was about a month, so Foley's a decent trainer and no reason to suspect. But what's interesting is the horse never got back to those numbers. Immediately dropped down to a 74, and then dropped down again. So you've got a situation where this horse is taking steps backwards. That's when Stidham comes back in for the 3rd time, grabs the horse again, and pops him to an 87, finishing 3rd by 4 3/4 length behind Temper Time, who has come back to win. So for me, you've got a trainer that obviously believes in what this horse can do and had this horse in great form. I love the horse being back there, coming off the cutback. That's going to be my top selection, and I think could surprise at 6-1. I'm a little nervous that angle is going to get picked up on by a lot of people, and I'm not going to get the price I thought I was, but nevertheless, That's who I like, and that is my rundown of the Oaklawn Park card on Friday. So, with that, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for your continued support of T3 Handicapping. Don't forget to purchase your membership on t3handicapping.weebly.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And wherever you're playing tomorrow, whether it be Tampa, Gulfstream, Aqueduct, Fairgrounds, or right here at Oaklawn, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Cash